On SuTV News, the uproar over last year's child care center closing can be laid to rest. How one decision changes everything. A march through campus that most people don't know about, and in sports, the Bison hang on in a defensive thriller against Southern Illinois. The entire community is breathing a sigh of relief as one of its biggest controversies has finally been resolved. Hello everyone, I'm Ryan Borstelman. NDSU tried to close the child care center last year due to spending cutbacks, but received no support in doing so. On Tuesday, President Dean Brashani released a statement saying the center would remain open. A committee studying child care options gave a set of recommendations and business plans to keep it running in a cost-effective manner. A review and consensus from Brashani's cabinet allowed these plans to go through. President Brashani says he realizes quality child care is tough to find in this area, so it's extremely important to keep this center open.
You would want the university to model the best possible programs and services for the rest of the community. And if you remove that model, obviously it has an impact that's well beyond the borders of the campus.
The committee spent nearly 6 months gathering data and doing interviews before giving their findings to Brashani. 40 days of protesting, fasting, and praying downtown has begun. The 40 Days for Life campaign is a peaceful protest outside the Red River Women's Clinic. Many NDSU students have come to hold signs, pray, and pass out pamphlets against abortion. The protesters want to find other options for women with unplanned pregnancies. The Women's Clinic says that despite the protest, patient numbers have always remained the same. Some NDSU students actually volunteered to escort women into the clinic while avoiding the protesters.
I don't believe that the child has to be aborted. I mean, there are other options, and I basically come down here to support them.
It doesn't affect us at all. It doesn't affect the services that we offer. It doesn't affect our staff or our scheduling or our patient numbers, and we just continue to conduct our services as we're needed.
Well, this is the 8th year for 40 Days for Life has organized a protest, and it plans to continue each year. Well, buying food will soon be easier for some NDSU students. Talk has come of a possible grocery store located on the ground floor of the Cityscapes apartment building. Cityscapes is located at 1st Avenue North in downtown Fargo. Mike Bullinger, developer of Cityscapes Plaza, says he hopes to have a commitment within 30 days. The new store would take up about 1/3 of the main floor and will sell both fresh and organic food.
I think not only students, but anybody working downtown could benefit from it, since there are lots of people that work down here and live down here.
I don't think that there's really any place that's convenient really nearby, especially like if you just want to buy something quick.
The interested party has not yet been released, but will not be a national chain. Other businesses have also tried to get their foot in the door at the prime location. The NDSU Wellness Center has a new team member. Christopher Suriano joins as the new Associate Director. Suriano will oversee the areas of fitness programs, recreation, and intramurals and marketing. He joined NDSU in 2006 as the Associate Director for Operations of the Memorial Union. Sexually transmitted diseases are a problem for any university. October is Get Yourself Tested Month at NDSU. The GYT event consists of different activities and presentations to make students aware of the STD testing on campus. The Wellness Education Center puts on presentations in dorms, fraternities, and sororities.
But I know that we do have a really high case of chlamydia on campus, so it's really important that people do get tested and are using the protective mechanisms when they are having sex and being active.
If you're interested in getting tested or for more information, stop by Student Health Services in the Wellness Center. Well, students are being encouraged to lead a healthy lifestyle as well. The Wellness Center helps with this by holding its annual wellness fair. On Wednesday, the fair promoted the 7 dimensions of wellness through different booths and activities. Some events included square dancing and pizza sampling. Food, games, and prizes were also handed out. The event was free to anyone who attended. Another way students can live healthy is by using a new tool for eating. The NDSU Dining Services has announced their new website for menu and nutrition information. Menus on the Web has the most up-to-date menus for each of the 3 campus dining centers. Students can plan their meals around nutritional goals using a meal nutritional analysis report. They can even search for their favorite dishes. Well, it's Coming Out Week on campus. The Equity and Diversity Center has several events ranging from panels to social gatherings. One panel had a local Christian officials representing religions seen as anti-gay. Each gave their personal and religious stance on homosexuality in churches. The week will end Friday with a candlelit vigil in the Babbling Brook Amphitheater. Well, stay with us. When we return, we've had 3 straight unusually cold and wet winters. What our area can expect this year as the snow starts to fly.
SuTV News is being brought to you by Stop and Go. Stop and Go. We're always there.
With MapBus being the easiest, greenest, and most efficient way to get around North Dakota State University, there are tons of reasons to MapBus.
I'm at bus to get to class on time. I don't have to use my car, waste gas, or waste time finding a parking spot.
I'm at bus because their hybrid buses not only help our community and our state, but they're also helping our
I'm at bus not only to get around campus, but to get around the Fargo community. The 25 different routes get me anywhere I need to be.
There are many reasons to Matt Bus. Come find yours.
Join the herd. Be Matt Bus strong.
Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich. Delivery guys.
Okay, your total is $472. How do you want to pay for that today?
I have a few different cards I want to put it on.
There is an easier way to do this. Book charging and rentals, only at the NDSU bookstore.
Thank you. Welcome back. Fargo is home to one of the most concentrated areas of different trees in North Dakota. Students, faculty, and visitors to NDSU can now get a better look at the diversity of those trees on campus, and they may not even know it. A new 1.8-mile walking trail through campus highlights 66 different types of trees. NDSU facilities manager and professor Dale Herman developed the adventure so people can enjoy the fall foliage a little differently.
NDSU is making a application for designation of the campus as a Tree Campus USA. To add a little clout, a lot of universities are applying for this.
Well, anyone taking on the trail can find a map and guide at the Bison Card office. They can also grab one at customer service and the Wellness Center. Well, the fall foliage is beautiful. It usually means winter is not far behind. With the 3 straight winters of unusually high amounts of snow and 4 of unusually cold temperatures, many may wonder what Mother Nature has in store for us this year. SuTV's Brandon Clark gives us a sneak peek.
While we dream about reliving our childhoods, raking up massive piles of leaves, then jumping in them until we pass out from the excitement, we can't help but know that just beyond the foliage, Old Man Winter is waiting to rear his ugly head. Unfortunately, that's all we're truly certain of, that at some point the snow will fall.
Forecasting weather long range like 3-4 months out in advance is a little bit like trying to predict how good the Vikings are going to be in any given year. You don't really know until the games are played.
While no one could have predicted the Vikes' 1-4 start, there are some indicators for what winter may hold.
We are still having the impact of the past La Nina.
La Nina and El Nino deal with sea surface temperatures in the Pacific Ocean, but for us it really means
our winter temperatures are cooler than normal and the precipitations are greater than normal.
It's a bit premature to predict if we'll have frigid temps.
In mid to late October, we start looking over in Siberia. If they start getting really deep snows building up in Siberia, it's usually a sign that we'll have a colder than average winter here in North America.
But we can break down a model showing the potential for greater than normal precipitation. Our current trend is leading us to between 53 and 54 inches of snow. Before starting to worry, consider that our average snowfall is 50 inches, and last year's snowfall was the third highest on record at 88.5. That and
historically, the second year of 2 consecutive La Niñas has not been snowy. The other thing is that for the last 2 months, the weather's been a little bit more dry than it's been over the last year.
So what could winter hold? Well, much of the same conditions that come with a typical La Niña year.
We are looking wetter than normal and slightly wetter than normal precipitation and cooler than normal temperatures.
It's nothing to be too concerned about, as of right now anyway.
I think it's premature to just assume that we're in for another horrible winter. I really do.
Brandon Clark, SuTV News.
Both Dr. Hughes and John Wheeler say that the dry fall could prove to be a huge advantage when talking about flooding next year. Well, as the temperatures get colder with winter drawing near, the trips to the coffee shops rise, but some students are finding a different reason to buy a steamy beverage. Instead of going to libraries or staying in their dorms, they hit up coffee shops to study. Caribou Coffee on 25th Street in Fargo notices about 50 of their student customers come in on a daily basis. To Rachel Hoffbeck, coffee shops make homework less stressful.
I personally don't like stressful situations, so studying at the library makes me feel like I'm too stressed out. But coming to the coffee shops, I feel like I have more of a home feel, but I don't have as many distractions as I would have as studying in my dorm.
Many of the coffee shops have wireless internet. There are also a few coffee shops on campus, and of course, Jitters is just on the other side of 12th Avenue. Well, stick with us. Coming up next, a series of New York in the Roaring 20s. It's a wild evening in a Manhattan apartment.
Hey, nice job.
There's always something happening on the NDSU campus. Catch it all on SuTV News on Cable 1, Channel 14. Brought to you in part by Shields and Stop and Go.
Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich. Delivery guys.
Welcome back to SuTV News. Some middle school kids will have the chance to experience the college life. Next Wednesday, 25 8th graders from Cheney Middle School in West Fargo will spend the morning going to college classes. They're coming through the Advancement via Individual Determination program. They will end their time here by having lunch in the West Dining Center. Well, it's a wild adventure from the 1920s. Andrew Lippa's The Wild Party is opening at the Askinase Theater. The play features a young couple who throw a grand party in an effort to rekindle their love. Set in the Roaring 20s, the play's director says it's not one to miss.
This is a hard show to do that not a lot of people could do. So I'm very pleased about that. And I say everybody should come see it, as long as you can drive. Maybe that's the deal.
The show dates are October 13th through the 15th and the 20th through the 23rd. Well, one thing students are getting pumped up about is the football game on Saturday against Missouri State. The Bison are 5-0 for the first time since winning their first 10 games in 2007. SuTV went on campus to see how students felt about the red-hot start.
I think the Bison football team are doing awesome. I'm excited for the game this weekend. So.
I just say that it's just awesome that they beat the Gophers. I mean, I'm from Minnesota, but gotta support the home school.
I think the Bison football team is doing amazing.
They're working hard, they're dedicated, and they're kick some butt.
I think it's incredible. I mean, we beat the U of M, beat some really good teams so far this year. I just think we're doing a great job, and I think we're going to continue it and maybe eventually get into a bigger conference.
I think the Bison are doing bomb diggity whack.
Well, Ryan, it looks like everyone's very excited about the game coming up this weekend. What do you have to tell us about sports?
Yeah, it's a big game. Missouri State, they're struggling. They're 0-6, but you got to win the Missouri Valley games. The Minnesota game was good, but you got to win the Missouri Valley. You got to win the conference games. We'll talk about that game and two Bison volleyball players making a big difference. That's coming up next on SuTV Sports.
$472. How do you want to pay for that today?
I have a few different cards I want to put it on.
There is an easier way to do this. Book charging and rentals, only at the NDSU bookstore.
With MapBus being the easiest, greenest, and most efficient way to get around North Dakota State University, there are tons of reasons to MapBus.
I'm at bus to get to class on time. I don't have to use my car, waste gas, or waste time finding a parking spot.
I'm at bus because their hybrid buses not only help our community and our state, but they're also helping our world.
I'm at bus not only to get around campus, but to get around the Fargo community. The 25 different routes get me anywhere I need to be.
There are many reasons to Matt Bus. Come find yours.
Join the herd. Be Matt Bus strong.
There's always something happening on the NDSU campus. Catch it all on SuTV News on Cable 1, Channel 14. Brought to you in part by Shields and Stop and Go.
It's happening at 6 p.m. this Saturday, October 15th, when the Bison take on Missouri State, sponsored by Stop and Go. For tickets, call 231-NDSU.
SuTV Sports is being brought to you by Shields. Ready for your next big adventure? Welcome to Shields.
Welcome back. Entering their 5th game of the season, the Bison football team had won by an average of 28 points a game. The offense had scored an average of 41 points a week. All has been well for the 4-0 squad, but Saturday was a different story as the Bison traveled to Southern Illinois for their next Missouri Valley matchup with the Salukis. At Saluki Stadium, 9,000 fans in attendance, a nice showing of Bison fans. Second quarter, game tied at 0. Corey Faulkner trying to get the Salukis on the board, but how about Marcus Williams? Another interception. He had 2 on the game, adding to his season total. Third quarter, Bison down 3-0. The flea flicker, McNorton back to Jensen. He's going deep. Ryan Smith right over the middle. Catches it 58 yards. That would lead to a Ryan Jastrom field goal to tie the game at 3. To the fourth quarter, Brock Jensen on the bootleg, rolling out. finding Matt Veldman in the back of the end zone for the 9-3 lead. Jasper would miss the point after, but it doesn't matter. The Bison hang on. They go on to win this one 9-3 to improve to 5-0 on the season. Big game for Brock Jensen, 13 of 23. He does throw his first interception, but consistency for Brock Jensen. The Bison will be at home taking on Missouri State this week. Missouri State 0-6, 0-3 in the Missouri Valley. That game a 6 o'clock kickoff. With great depth throughout their lineup, one wouldn't think there would be any room for freshman playing time in the Bison volleyball team, but two former redshirts are proving that they belong. Although these kills may look the same, Bison redshirt freshmen Carissa Whalen and Lauren Kamak are very different.
Lauren's just one of those kids, it's like, you tell her, like, hey, I want to do that, okay. And she just loves it, you know. And Carissa, it's getting her a little bit more comfortable with just voicing her opinion on the court. She's got a lot she can offer, and sometimes she kind of views herself as, oh, I'm just a redshirt freshman.
The thing they have in common is each has contributed in a big way to this year's Bison team.
Carissa's like an athlete that can play pretty much anywhere along the front row right now, which is really nice, and that gives her a lot of versatility. But Lauren, yeah, contributing that much as a redshirt freshman, it's great.
Kamak is second in the team in kills and has added great depth to the Bison attack.
Some people are kind of more serious players. I like to have fun, and I always have to constantly sing, so I think I bring some energy.
Whalen was asked to fill a big hole when middle hitter Megan Lamberton was sidelined with an ankle injury early in the season, and she did exactly that.
It was exciting. It was definitely a challenge, and I enjoyed every second of it. It was really nice to start out on the right side and then see that I really could step up to that challenge and get it done in the middle.
Both bring their own approach to the game, but are constantly learning the ins and outs of Division I volleyball.
Definitely think Lauren for sure has taken away a lot from Bryn. I mean, you know, by being in a similar situation, that's something that Bryn's really helped with her leadership-wise from that. But yeah, Kirsty, I think, you know, Kirsty's work ethic and the way she competes, and same thing for Jennifer Lopez, definitely something that is contagious for these young players to step into and then get the opportunity to compete right away and enjoy that with them is great, and it'll go a long way down the road for them.
Even as young redshirt freshmen, Kamak and Whalen are not satisfied with where they are as a team or individually, and are sure to make an impact in years to come.
Not where we were expecting to be, and we are definitely not going to stay here very long. I think that I could be better at this point. I think everyone can always be better, and that's what I'm looking to improve on.
Definitely, and I still have 3 more years after this. I'm going to keep improving.
Whalen Kamak and the Bison in action against Oral Roberts. First place on the line at the Benson Bunker. First set, Joanna Gruber going off the block and down. Oral Roberts takes the set. That's the first one they've won in the last 14 against the Bison. Second set, the Bison would answer. Pass too far. Jana Diley is there to send it right back. The South native tied a career high with 12 kills. In the 5th set, this one goes to 5. Match point, Olivia Ophis off the block, lands out of bounds. Oral Roberts steals one from the Bison. They go on to win this one 3-2. Well, you can chalk up another win for phenom golfer Amy Anderson. Anderson shot a 200 par 70 in the opening round of the Xavier LPGA Invitational to take the lead before rain canceled the 2nd and 3rd rounds of the tournament. Overall, the Bison finished 9th. The win is Anderson's 2nd of the season and record 12th of her short career. And Bison Soccer picking up 2 wins on the road. They beat IUPUI 2-0 and Western Illinois 4-0. So for the football team, you're back at home. A tough road game last week. You can't underestimate this team. It's another Missouri Valley team. Yes, they're 0-6, but you can't underestimate them.
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, we can't underestimate any conference games because late in the season, these games are going to come back as being very important, you know, wins or losses.
And things only get harder from here.
Yes, exactly. So still to come at SuTV News, students see them each day while walking to class, the fad that continues to grow.
In today's world, technology has become an integral part of our everyday lives. As students, we use it for entertainment, keeping in touch, and academic purposes. But with great technology comes great responsibility. So, let's talk tech. Copyright is the legal right to control the copying, distribution, modification, display, and performance of certain types of work. It applies to text, graphics, video, audio, and other forms of creative expression. Downloading, sharing, or distributing copyrighted material without permission from the copyright holder is considered a serious offense. In the past, NDSU students have paid thousands of dollars in damages for copyright violations. Depending on the severity and the frequency of the offense, NDSU sanctions could include verbal caution, a letter of warning, loss of computer and network privileges, and termination of a student's enrollment status. You may also be subject to criminal or civil lawsuits, which could lead to paying thousands of dollars in settlements. The good news is that it is possible to access movies, television shows, music, etc. legally through other online sources. In addition to the option of obtaining formal permission from the copyright holder to use their work, you can also purchase and download music online through legal sources such as iTunes, Amazon MP3, or Rhapsody. There are also legal options online to access free videos and music, including Hulu, Grooveshark, and Pandora. For a complete list of alternative resources and more information about copyright, visit the IT Security website.
We'll deal with it after. Students are seeing an unusual amount of wheels rolling across campus. Not motorcycles or bikes, but longboards. Longboarding is a street sport similar to skateboarding. It's used for everyday transportation, tricks, and downhill racing. Many students use them to simply get from class to class. Unfortunately, longboards are not built for winter travel, so if anyone wants to try, it's best to hurry before the snow starts to fall. Well, I'll tell you what, I've seen longboards all over campus, and I, for one, am not coordinated enough.
I would fall every time I try to get on one. It's, I'm not, hey, but there are people who are really good at it. I mean, you can get from class to class pretty quick.
I've seen people zipping through crowds very, very quickly with those longboards, I'll tell you what.
They move.
So, Amy Anderson, can she do no wrong?
I don't think she can lose. I think it's impossible.
She's doing great.
Kind of lucky for her, I guess, that the rain canceled the round, so she didn't even know she was going to win. She just went out, shot her best first round, and wins the tournament.
Just a really nice, pleasant way to find out, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. Great things going on in sports. Basketball's starting to come back, volleyball. They're trying to get back into first place. Everything's going well.
Exciting times this fall at NDSU. Well, thank you for joining us here on SuTV News. For more news, don't forget to pick up your copy of The Spectrum. We'll see you next week.